Over the past 3 years, this mom has just found out that her son, she found out in February that her son is being moved back to the 9th grade. This young man has failed 22 classes over 3 years. What are y'all doing?
Teachers are saying that they're doing their absolute best just to make sure that these kids can learn, maybe do some homework, maybe get to reading, things like that. But they're having a lot of challenges. Is it because of the parents? Is it because of the kids themselves? Is it because the teachers, maybe they're not necessarily teaching well? Let me know your thoughts and leave a comment below.
My students are writing an ECR, an extended constructed response. For my people that don't know what that is, it's like an essay, very short essay. I remember producing paragraphs that was 5 to 6 sentences when I was in school, when I was in 5th grade. However, the standard has been minimized. We all know that. Today was the worst day. Students have to actually produce authentic, original responses on their own. They're looking at me like, what do I put right here? Your answer. My problem is the lack of creativity that this generation has. I don't know. This is what we need to be talking about in the news. We're in a state of emergency because who's going to lead the world? Who are going to be the leaders?
That teenagers, kids in general, are significantly less able to critically think or solve problems on their own without help. They will type in one long, complicated search phrase, and when they don't immediately on the first page of results see exactly what they're looking for, they give up and they come to me, and they, instead of saying, how can I search better or what am I doing wrong, they go immediately to, well, there's no articles on my topic, so I need to pick a new topic. Like immediately giving up after one try of typing a question in. Another example is this happens daily, literally daily in all of my classes, asking a question that is clearly and blatantly addressed in the step-by-step instructions for whatever it is they're doing. And then when I point out, oh, that's in the instructions, they still follow that up with, yeah, but you could just tell me, right?
I teach 2nd grade. Yesterday, my class had a science test. Here's everything I did to prepare them for the science test, aside from actually teaching the material in the classroom. The test was on a Thursday. They were sent home with a packet on Friday that was a review packet, but also an extra credit packet. So they could review the work, but also complete the questions in the packet to get 10 points extra credit on their test. Yesterday, I had 8 students turn it in, 3 had no name, and one of them I only knew who it was because there was a parent note on there that mentioned the kid by name. So I have a class of 20 students. I messaged parents on Class Dojo, like I put my story up saying, your student is coming home with this packet today for 10 points extra credit. It is due Thursday before the test. Like it was all announced. Before the test yesterday, I reviewed the test. I reviewed all of that for like 15 minutes before the test. I read the test out loud to them, question by question. Did I mention the review that I sent home on Friday? Verbatim, word for word, what was on the test? Guess how many students scored above an 80? Out of 18 kids that were present yesterday, 4 kids. When they say you can lead a horse to water but can't make it drink.
Do y'all not go to parent-teacher night? Do y'all not check the report cards? How is your son, a senior, being moved back to the 9th grade? Over the past 3 years, this mom has just found out that her son, she found out in February that her son is being moved back to the 9th grade. This young man has failed 22 classes over 3 years. Failed Spanish 1, they moved him to Spanish 2. Failed English 1, they moved him to English 2. Failed English 2, they moved him to English 3. You mean to tell me from freshman to sophomore to junior to senior year, you've not been keeping up with this young man's transcript to make sure that those grades are in line or in order? You mean to tell me he just come home, get on the game, oh mama, I'm good? This boy has only passed 3 classes in the 4 years that he has been in high school. He has a grade point average of 0.13. He is number 62 out of 120 students. If his grade point average is 0.13, the other half of that class, what is that grade point average? Anybody? Anybody? I'll wait. What are y'all doing? Y'all, when I tell you, and I guess this is because my mom worked for the post office, so she knew when report cards and progress reports and shit like that was going out. There was never a time that she didn't get to review, go to a parent-teacher conference, something along those lines to make sure that my grades were in order. And this is where it comes into play if y'all want to be y'all's kids' friends, because the mom is on the news blaming the school. Talking about how could they? No, how could you not? And then saying that she has other kids, she worked 3 jobs. No excuse.
Random teacher rant. If you can't behave in the classroom, in the hallways, at recess, in art class, in the principal's office, if your parents don't respond to phone calls, emails from the teacher and administration, you should not be allowed to go on field trips. I don't understand it. If we don't trust your behavior in the school building, why are we going to take you out of the building and think, oh yeah, they're just magically gonna be all right. They're magically gonna listen now. Nope, they won't elope anymore. Of course they're gonna keep their hands to themselves. Come on, man. And of course their parents are magically going to start responding. You know, if we need them because there's an emergency, but you know there won't be one because their children are such spectacles. I just don't understand the logic. Like, I get it. We don't want kids to feel excluded, but at the same time, going on a field trip is not a right. It's a privilege. And if your behavior gets that privilege taken away, then so be it.
As a high school teacher, I am getting sick of people taking us upholding classroom expectations as personal attacks against them. Since when did it become harsh to not accept late work 3 months after it was due from a student that refuses to do anything in class regardless? Since when did it become harsh to want a student out of your classroom if they call you a derogatory term? Since when did it become harsh to hold students to the expectations of having their headphones and phones put away when you're teaching or going over instructions or expectations? Some of the discourse that I see on this app from either people that have decided that all teachers are the worst because they had like a few teachers that they didn't like in high school, and from probably teens, like kids that are in the comments of some of these teaching videos, really blow my mind, because everybody wants to play victim when it comes to teachers doing their job.
In some of these videos, we're seeing some of the teachers that are talking about kids that are not completing their homework. And that's a big piece for me, I know personally. I do have my kids doing their own type of homework, whether it's from school or it's from home. Mainly it is going to be from home because I have a number of books that I use in order to have my kids actually do some work. So when it comes to these kids actually learning, I think what we're trying to figure out is it because the parents are not helping in terms of the homework, or the parents aren't holding their kids accountable? Or is it because the teachers are maybe giving too much homework or not giving any homework? I'm curious on your thoughts, because these kids, they are the ones that are suffering the most when it comes down to it. So let me know your thoughts. Curious on what you think. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.